You know, people do have a point about using a 1911 for self-defense considering it only has 7 rounds. Except this one has 14. Hey everybody, welcome back to Go Big Bore or Go Home, where recoil is required. Why? Because we're the house of the rising gun. Today we're reviewing a gun I've wanted to review for a while. As a big fan of 45, this is one that kind of solves the problem of not enough rounds in a 1911. Instead of the typical 7, you've got 14, twice that. This is the Rock Island Armory TAC Ultra full-size high-capacity 45. It's quite a mouthful. Now, before we get started, in case anybody wonders why I'm always doing like 45s, 40s, 10 millimeters as reviews, you know, if you're a guy like me and you prefer something like the 45, or maybe you prefer the 40 or the 10, you don't have as many options as the 9mm guys. I mean, those are all over the place. So I think it's kind of important to look at some of the big bore self-defense options out there. So we're going to get a closer look. We're going to go through all the features. For those of you who do want something in a smaller caliber, they do make this in 10mm and 9mm as well. Although 10mm is technically more powerful, smaller caliber. So let's get down to the table, let's take a closer look, let's go over the features, let's talk about its reliability and its accuracy, and let's see if it measures up. Okay, so let's take a look here at the Rock Island Armory TAC Ultra full-size high-capacity 45, or as more commonly see as the TAC Ultra FSHC. So there's a lot to talk about on this firearm that I think are really good features. Let's start with the obvious. You know, it's a 1911 style. It's 70 series. So if I pull this up, you can see there's no firing pin safety. So as I showed in the beginning, you know, it comes with a 1 Mech Gar 14-round magazine. Mech Gar makes pretty good magazines. I've had a very good experience with them myself. Some of the other things, it's got ambidextrous safeties, which some people do or don't like. Let me just kind of, there we go. It's got the skeletonized hammer, the nice beaver tail safety with the extended area here for better connection with your hand. It's got the skeletonized and adjustable trigger. It comes with front and rear cocking serrations that are nice and wide. I personally like these better than the standard ones because you can really get a good grip. It comes with this magwell. I have some opinions about it. Now, it is actually a metal magwell. I'm pretty sure it's steel. And it works well for its purpose, but it's so big. I honestly think it's a little odd looking. That's just my eyes. However, you can't take it off because the mainspring housing pin here is longer than average, and even if you do take it off, the actual frame is cut, so you really need to leave it on, which again, take it or leave it. I think it looks a little odd, but it is very functional. It works well. Some of the other features you have are the fiber optic front sight, which I'm always a big fan of, and adjustable rear sights. This is definitely nice to help you dial it in. I do have a couple of firearms that either they shoot a little high or shoot a little low. Having this really is nice to get rid of that. And then it comes with these nice G10 grips. Now, they're not as aggressive as some people might like. I'm actually going to be changing these out for some that are made by Stoner CNC. If you like G10 grips, I recommend checking them out. Good product. Customer service is also very good. This is fine. This is comfortable. I know Ashley likes this much better than the more aggressive style of CNC. The magazine release is, I'm going to try and show here, a little bit more extended than your normal 1911, which is nice. You know, it gives you really easy access from you know, even from here. You know, I just barely turn there and I can reach it, which is really a nice feature to have on something, especially if you're going to be using this for self-defense, having that access. The full-size rail on the underside to place a light on, or a laser if you prefer, really helps. And of course, it provides some added weight, which helps with muzzle rise. It's going to weigh you down a little bit. It's a little heavier to hold up for an extended period of time, but it does provide that, and it's pretty nice. The other thing that it has is a full-size guide rod. Again, I know some people like them, some people don't. I've actually, believe it or not, fired this with a standard guide rod from like a GI 1911, just to see it worked just fine. No malfunctions, not a problem, none. no issues. And one of the other things that I like about this personally, because some of the cheaper Rock Islands don't do this, this this mainspring housing is in fact metal, it's steel. I really prefer that personally. I just don't like plastic parts if I can avoid them, where I think there might be some wear and tear. With having to house the main spring for the hammer, I really prefer metal here. It's a confidence thing. The plastic ones work just fine, but I prefer this. Let's talk a little bit about this firearm and how it handles. Comfort is good. It has the same grip angle as a 1911. But it is thicker. So I will say, if you go from a single stack to this, there's a little bit of a learning curve because it's definitely different. It's not the same. It's not a 1-to-1. It's kind of a 1 to a 0.75, if you will. I know it's kind of a weird way to say it, but you'll recognize the familiar feel, you'll recognize the trigger feel, but what you're going to notice is it's a lot more to hold on to. However, to someone like my wife, Ashley, she likes the thicker handle because for her, the 1911 is too long and too thin because she has smaller palms. So this could be a benefit to some people who don't normally care for 1911s. I found this to be, of course, very controllable, very comfortable to shoot, very familiar. And as far as its reliability, I want to say, probably like 300 rounds through at this point. And I tried some stock ammo and I tried some of my hand loads. I've had a total of 1 malfunction in about 300 rounds, and it was on a reload. And it didn't happen to me either. It happened to Ashley when she was shooting it. And I'm not sure if this was a case of limp wristing or if it's a case of remanufactured ammunition improperly loaded, which I would be willing to take the blame on that. But I haven't had it jam on me. I haven't had it jam on the majority of the reloads. I haven't had it, malfunction on any single factory cartridge. I put this through its paces with some PMC bronze, which is 230 grain ball ammo at 830 feet per second. Also with the ammo incorporated 230 grain ball ammo at 890 feet per second, so a little hotter. And I actually put gold dot 185 grains through this, which were clocked in at 1,050 feet per second. All ran perfectly. No malfunctions whatsoever. Very comfortable, very reliable. Again, it shot excellently, exactly like you would want it to shoot. A couple of the other things were testing out the trigger. On an average of 5 trigger pulls, this has an incredibly good trigger, 3.33 pounds. That's really nice. It's very comfortable. It breaks as all 1911 triggers do, very clean, very comfortable to shoot. Which brings me though to one other factor about this that is a definite downside, which is the weight. This thing is heavy. It's 48.93 pounds. It weighs almost as much as my Ruger Super Red Hawk and .44 Magnum. And that's one of the things that I would say is a bit of a downside for this gun. If you're looking for trail defense or carry defense, this is going to be a tough sell, because while it does solve the capacity problem, because it's all steel, you now have a weight problem. So how did it do in the accuracy department? Well, to be honest, this shot very well. It shot about as good as I can do, which my average is about 2 5/8 inches, and that's what I averaged here. So I'm going to put up those targets that were done, 2 targets with ammunition incorporated, 2 with the PMC bronze, and 2 with the Spear gold dots. And as you can see, I had a lot of cases where it's like it would have been a good group except for that one flyer, but I'm trying to be honest, so showing you guys how I did. But again, 2 5/8 inches is good shooting. I'm very happy with this. Overall, I feel this is a really good gun. I feel very confident in saying that it's comfortable, it shoots straight, it's reliable, which is a real big thing for me on anything that I would ever use for self-defense. Definitely something I would be very comfortable with for using for target, for self-defense, for competition, whatever you want to use it for. So overall, yeah, I was very impressed with this. I really got a lot more gun in terms of reliability, accuracy, and quality than I was expecting, which is high praise, because I do have pretty high expectations of Rock Island Armory. Given my past history with them, I've been very happy and impressed with their work. This firearm exceeded those expectations. So now you've seen some up close and personal features and some information on the Rock Island Armory TAC Ultra full size high capacity 45. So let's break it down now. The hits, high capacity, they're not kidding. 14 rounds of 45, that's pretty darn good. Very few guns can meet that or exceed it. So well done on that part, plenty of ammo. Number 2 for me on this would definitely be the features list. You've got the magazine well. You've got the skeletonized hammer, ambidextrous safety, skeletonized and adjustable trigger. You've got these wide front and rear cocking serrations, adjustable rear, fiber optic front, full-size rail for some weight for the front of the muzzle to reduce recoil. And also, of course, you can put any accessory on it you want. It's nice to get a pistol that's pretty much fully loaded, save for a red dot. And you can find a way to add it if you want. And finally, the reliability of this thing. I've been astounded at just how good the reliability was. Anytime someone says, we're going to take something and make it better, I get kind of skeptical. But they really did on this, and that the reliability has just been absolutely outstanding. I would feel comfortable using this for self-defense or woods defense because I know it's going to work every time I pull the trigger. So how about the misses? Well, first up, this thing is a porker. I mean, this thing seriously weighs more than Michael Moore. Imagine putting that on your waist all day and carrying it around. You'd be exhausted. Number 2 is the price. This is kind of pricey with an MSRP of $8.99. I mean, right now, FN's FNX 45 without the tactical treatment is $9.19 MSRP. Now, I got both for a little bit less, and this one less than my FNX 45, but still, that's quite a few bones. You know, you're gonna be shelling out some money to get one of these. And number 3, some of the components won't be compatible. You can't use standard 1911 grips. Some of the internals on the frame are going to be a little bit different. So that may not be a huge issue, but it is something when I buy anything 1911. If I'm doing a Series 80 with the, where it's got the trigger block or, a double stack, the rules change a little bit on my ability to find parts if I want to do any customization. The final shot, if you're a 1911 person and you want to use one for defense, but you're worried about capacity, this is your gun. Rock Island Armory knocked this out of the park, and they really hit a home run. I love this gun. If I hadn't bought my FNX 45 first, I might not have. I might be using this for defense. This is a really fantastic pistol, and if you got the money, buy one. So there you have it, guys. If you guys get a chance to shoot one of these or buy one of these, I highly recommend it. I've been nothing but impressed by this gun. It's really something. I just want to say, for those of you who enjoyed the video, thank you for watching. And for those of you who didn't enjoy the video, thank you for getting this far. We really appreciate you giving the channel a chance. And remember, as always, go big bore or go home.